Welcome everyone to Steve Savant's Money, the name of the game. I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial economist. On today's show, the best location to buy income property, part 2 of our series on real estate investing with best-selling author, real estate economist, and host of the Real Wealth Show, Kathy Fettke. Welcome again.
Thank you.
Kathy, your book is on #1 bestseller on Amazon.com. Retire Rich with Rentals. I'm still trying to think if I want to be a landlord or not. You know, I'm still trying to go through that. Yeah. And also, you've been on many of the talk shows, CNN, Fox News, CBS Money Watch, NPR. And so you've done your tour, you've written a book, and you go around. And right now, you're here in our city right now. We're recording, of course, live in Phoenix. And you're actually, with hedge funds, people are actually buying real estate. I was shocked in our first segment when you said to me, Steve, investors are buying, I thought it'd be commercial property or something like that. They're buying individual residential homes. Yeah,
I literally am at a conference right now with the top hedge funds in the world that invest in U.S. real estate, and they used to love apartments, and I know obviously they still do, but the yields are higher on single family right now.
Unbelievable.
And I think the reason for that is when you have 8 million people who lost their homes to either foreclosure or short sale, they don't want to move back to an apartment. That's a step backwards. So they would rather rent a single family home. And even though home prices have gone up, rents have gone up, but for investors, interest rates have been so low that the difference between your payment and your expenses and the rent you're getting, it can be double. So the cash flow, let's say on a $100,000 property, and I know some people might think, where do you find them? You can find them all over the U.S. A $100,000 property, you should be making about $300 to $400 a month cash flow after all expenses if you finance it.
So this could be a way to go. Maybe not in a metro area like Phoenix, right? I know about 100K in Phoenix. Maybe it's on the outskirts.
At one time, it's harder today. This is one of the markets that has reached its 2006 highs.
Well, are we a good market or not a good market then, I guess?
Well, it's harder. It's harder. 6 years ago, this was the market. And unfortunately, that, good or bad, however you look at it, that brought investors from all over the world, and they wanted to invest here. So they bought most of the good stuff.
Well, when people are saying, I'm buying real estate, I'm looking for the location. Everybody says location, location, location.
Yes.
But you say that's not enough.
Yeah.
And you have a kind of a due diligence process or a protocol that you do to kind of walk through the gauntlet of questions that will really help you make a determination whether you should buy this property. One of them is looking for job growth.
Absolutely. I don't want to see anybody lose money again. And 2008 was a horrible time for many, even many good investors, because they didn't understand the metrics to look at. And as far as market cycles. So the world was caught by surprise in 2007 when even the National Association of Realtors were saying there was no bubble in 2006. And so they just didn't really know what to look for. And so I made that my focus because I never want to see anybody go through that again. And here we are, fast forward 10 years from that peak, and many markets have overshot even 2006 highs. And yet people are saying there's no bubble. There is in certain markets. And I don't want to see anybody buying in those markets and losing money.
All right, but I'm targeting one of my due diligence factors on one of my checklists here is job growth. If I don't see job growth, I may say, I don't know. I may be slow to spend my money.
Yeah, back in 2006, I had a client come to me who had 3 properties in Stockton, California. They were $420,000 each, and there's not job growth in Stockton, California. She was making $1,200 rent on each of those 3 properties, and I said to her, this is the time to sell. There's no job growth. It doesn't make sense. The affordability is out of whack. Fortunately, she listened to me. She sold those 3 properties. We 1031 exchanged them, which I'll explain. And I showed her that in Dallas, Texas, there was the highest job growth in the country, and therefore the highest population growth. We were able to take those 3 properties and buy her 10 brand new properties right in the Dallas metro area.
Same money.
Same money, and each of those homes paid $1,200 a month. So she quadrupled her monthly cash flow, and because it was a market that was just the beginning of its boom, she also those properties doubled in value. The person who bought her Stockton properties for $420 each, a year later those were worth $100,000 each. That person, because they didn't listen to me or my show at the time, they lost everything, and I'm sorry for them. She doubled her equity and quadrupled her cash flow.
So there's differences in location pricing, of course, and
Yes.
there's population growth. Now I'm thinking population. That's another thing I want to add to my checklist here.
Yes.
I want to say, hey, job growth. Yeah, we have people coming in.
Yeah.
Corporations are coming in, setting up. There's job growth.
Yes.
People like great weather down here in the Southwest. I see companies coming in just for that issue alone. But what about population growth? Now, when you bring
Yeah.
that up, I mean, what am I looking for? Am I just looking for? I noticed in our area, California is our number one immigrant state. Number
Yeah.
two is Illinois. People, I don't know, those are two states that have heavy taxation.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of, we have a huge generation now, the baby boomers, who are looking to get away from taxes, so they're going to the no state income tax states. But one thing I want to make sure that investors understand when choosing a market is, while job growth and population growth are important, those jobs need to be sustainable. And the perfect example of that is North Dakota. Massive job growth during the oil boom. During the oil crash, jobs gone, people gone. And so you don't want to invest in an area where there's just one industry that's bringing all that job growth, because you could get wiped out if that industry disappears. And that's what happened in Texas. In the 80s, it was really dependent on oil. They got smashed. The economy got smashed in the 80s during the S&L crisis. And so the Texas government decided to have a more diverse job base. And look what they did. They offered tax credits, and all of these diverse employers came to Texas. And that is a very diverse economy now, in a safer place. But, again, an example, Phoenix. Back in the heyday, when everybody was buying in Phoenix, it was a lot based on construction. And so when the housing market collapsed, those jobs left, and Phoenix was left in the dust. Of course, it's come back strong since then. So it has to be a diverse employer base.
Now, you talk about another checklist of yours is affordability. Now, when I think of affordability, I don't know what that means. Is it cash flow? Is it less, least money down, most cash flow, greater stability in the neighborhood, whatever? I mean, I don't know what that means. What do you mean when you say affordability?
A really simple way to look at that is to say, you can so easily look it up too. What is the average income of the area? And you can go on citydata.com, and there's a lot of data available for us. And I have it available for people. We do a lot of that research to make it easy for people, to make it more passive. But you look at the average income of an area, and then you look at the average home price. And the average home price should not be more than 3 or 4 times the average income. That's it. That's all you have to do, is really understand that. Now, in California, in the market I'm in, our office is in Walnut Creek. The average income is around $100,000. The average home price is going to be around $800,000 to $1 million. That's not affordable. But you might look at, say, a place in Ohio. Average income might be very low, maybe $50,000, but the average home price is $100,000 or $70,000. That is an affordable market. That's where you're not going to see much fluctuation. Even if interest rates go up or down, you're secure there. Those are linear markets that they just are steady. So if you're just looking for steady, you pick the affordable markets. If you're looking for a boom, you better time it right, or you could lose it all.
Okay, what was the website again?
Citydata.com.
Okay, so if you go to citydata.com as an example, you're looking for 3 to 4 to 1 ratio between the average earning and the average sale of the home. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
That's exactly it.
And that's your kind of your boilerplate for affordability.
That's a real simple way to look at it. Yeah.
Now I'm looking for. I love this line, but I'm not really sure how to explain this to people. It says here, look for areas with infrastructure plans and revitalization. Now you use Detroit, and I'm thinking like, have those guys even started revitalizing? I don't know.
This is why I love my job, because I love America and I get to learn what's happening in America. So I don't know if you know this, it was in my bio, but in 2013, I won the 100, I was in the top 100 most intriguing entrepreneurs voted by Goldman Sachs. And I got to go to their big award ceremony with the other 99 entrepreneurs that they selected. And the Uber founders were there. And I mean, it was just amazing. We had a lot of Solar City and Elon Musk were there. It was very exciting. I actually don't know how I ended up there, except that we were helping revitalize America. And so the Quicken Loan guy was there, and he wanted to, he stated at that time, I want to bring Detroit back. And, we were all saying, good luck, I hope you can, because there was opportunity. I mean, you could get houses for $1, at that time. And so a couple of billionaires basically poured their money into Detroit the last 3 years, and it's really transformed. And so up until now, I wouldn't have touched it. But because of the revitalization and because of the fact that it still has a bad reputation, which we love as investors, we want to get into those areas that nobody wants to go near because that's where you get the opportunity if you know what's coming. And so we know now, and you do too, that Detroit is having a comeback. And you can buy, I kid you not, you might not believe me, this is real. You can get a fully renovated home, totally renovated like new, for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, and it rents for $900 a month. I mean, you won't find that anywhere.
I never would have thought Detroit would have been a location.
It wasn't on my list, and I told people don't go near it until now.
Well, don't forget to watch part 3 of our series on real estate investing, managing income property. And keep in mind, before moving forward with any of the ideas on our show, always check with your tax consultant, legal counsel, or your financial advisor. You've been watching Steve Savant's Money, the name of the game.